You guys probably noticed something a little bit different, other than the fact that I made this video black and white. I got a fucking cool new... Of course, this ruined it. Let's try that again. I got the coolest chair that I found on Amazon, and I got it with my tax return, and I am really happy with this. Actually, I'll get out of the black and white for a second. Look at this! It's blue! Look at this shit! Also, hold on, let me adjust the camera. It's got a thing for my back. It's got a pillow for my back and my head. I love this thing. Okay, let's go back to black and white now. Cool. No, I just had to rub this in a little bit. I'm actually, before I start the review, I also do want to say I am gonna change things a little bit in here. I'm actually expecting a desk soon, and, I should actually be getting it today when at the time when I film this. Hopefully I can get it out today, which is the 8th. I'm already thrown off as far as my days, which is normal for me, but I just wanted to point this out, guys. This is cool, and I'll finally be able to have a desk, and maybe I can make this look at least semi-professional. But anyway, I am not here to just ramble about shit like this. No, right now we're here for Roma, which has been getting a lot of Oscar buzz recently, and I've wanted to do a review on this for a little bit, but I hadn't had time. Now I'm knocking it out. So, Roma is directed by Alfonso Cuarón, who is an Oscar darling already. He won quite a few awards for his film Gravity, which he actually won for Best Director for. And this is the very first Netflix original film to be nominated for a Best Picture Oscar. Now, it's not unusual, this sort of thing where a film from a streaming service, is nominated for Best Picture. That's already happened before. That honor was given to Amazon back in 2017 with a little film called Manchester by the Sea, a film that surprised me when I first saw it, but it didn't end up winning Best Picture that year. That year it actually ended up losing to Moonlight. Now Netflix has finally caught up and gotten in the Best Picture race, and I honestly think, aside from my own opinion on the film, which we will get into, I actually believe that Roma will be the first streaming service film to win the coveted award. And again, I'm totally basing this off of everything that's not my own opinion. I'm basing this off of the reaction that the entire film community and film critic community has kind of garnered around this movie. Just everything points to it winning, but you know what? I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, basically Roma focuses on the life of this live-in housekeeper of a middle-class family, and I actually had to look this up later, but the title refers to the Colonia Roma district in Mexico City, and really that's the most I'm going to give out of the plot, especially if you want to go in and see what it was, because I went in, I had no idea what the hell this movie was. And now getting into my trademarked pros and cons, let's first start off with the things that I did like about Roma. What I liked, first off, I watched it mainly for Alfonso Cuarón. Now, I'm not a mega fan of him, I don't follow his work closely, but whenever I hear his name, I get excited because I expect excellence, at least in the technical section. I mean, he just... God damn it. Excuse me, give me a second. Yeah, sorry guys, I'm still trying to fight the sickness that I've been going through, and nothing's really been helping. Yeah, after I'm done with this video, I'm just gonna have to go somewhere and get some new medicine, but, Cuarón has a way of directing his films in a way that he kind of stands out from the rest of the crowd. Hell, even his direction of the third Harry Potter movie, Prisoner of Azkaban, felt so different from the others that film itself stood out in the crowd. And for good reason, and that one is my personal favorite, though I don't know which one's better from a critical standpoint. I'll have to do Harry Potter review series down the line. Don't know when that is. And who knows, I have time in between when I have to do my Crimes of Grindelwald review and the sequel, so maybe I'll do it. I don't know. Anyway, back on topic. I've enjoyed his more recent films. Haven't really gotten around to seeing the older ones. You know, I enjoyed Gravity, I enjoyed Children of Men, but in this film, he especially worked the hardest that I think that he's ever worked. Not only did he direct this film, he also wrote it, produced it, handled the cinematography himself. He even worked as a co-editor on the film. He knows how to helm a film, knowing just what to show and what to tell, and also he gets to exercise his own creative control on this film, and it really was a sight to see. And I say sight to see specifically because you can tell that working closely with his past cinematographers has really taught him some tricks of the trade, because the cinematography in this film is fucking outstanding. Just the angles and the presentation are wonderful, and it all feels crisp, more crisp, thanks to the choice to shoot it in black and white, giving it the feel of a classic film. It really reminded me of some older French art films that way. And actually, although I do have an issue with it partially, sometimes the shot itself, what is composed, is so beautiful and interesting that it kind of took me out of what was going on with the characters, and I think that was because, actually, I'll get into that part later when I actually get into the cons. The film also touches on some interesting themes that I really enjoyed. I don't know why my watch keeps doing this thing where it'll just go off from 9 to like 9:40 or something, and I can't get it to stop. I need a better watch. But damn it, where was I? Never mind. I'll start this part over. The film touches on some themes that I really liked. Namely, I noticed, and this is one of those things, if you blink, you may miss it sort of things, but there are some scenes that aren't tied to the story, but rather kind of tied to something that some of the characters do in their free time. And it seemed to touch on the idea that maybe you're just, in a way, marooned in one place, and you're just floating through life because maybe that's all there really is for you. And another one touched on the idea of fate and how birth can really determine your entire life for you, and sometimes you have little to no choice in the matters of life. You're just dealt with the cards that you're given. The film also has 2 nominees in the acting categories for the Oscars. I'll try to pronounce their names, but most likely I will screw them up. Personally, my favorite performance in the film is that of the Best Supporting Actress nominee, and I believe her name was Marina Datavira. I'm pretty sure I got that one right. Hers was the most consistent performance in there, and just, I don't know, it didn't feel like she was acting really, but, you know, it was because she just felt completely natural. There was a lot of nuances to her character. You get these glimpses of how she's feeling and how she's reacting to different things in her life, and as the film progresses, you begin to see more and more, and I honestly connected the most with her character. The other performance was in the Best Actress category, and it's Yalitza Aparicio. I got nothing for that. This is what it's spelled. Yeah. I will throw in a con for her performance first, because sadly, for the first half of the film, or first half or so, she rarely seems to express emotion in the slightest, and once a certain thing happens in the film, you know, everything fell back into place to me. I began to see why she was nominated, and it was just a moving performance from then on, with the first scene of what I consider to be one of the best parts of her acting being a scene where I was so shaken to my core that, and her performance drove it home. And, you know, it was just one of those scenes where I felt like I couldn't keep watching because I was that... I don't want to go into the exact emotion that I was feeling because it may give a tiny bit of spoiler into it, but basically, just I was really affected by a certain scene in this movie on an emotional level, and like, the main reason why I was able to get through was because I was in awe of what she was doing in the scene. Now, sadly, even though I said it will no doubt win Best Picture this year, I personally don't think it deserves it. There are too many flaws in this movie that, while it is an impressive film on a technical level, and even on performances, it does have major flaws, two of which I've already touched on, and I want to get into my final couple of cons. And the last one's going to be the biggest, and that one will take me a while to get through, so just bear with me. The film is definitely a slow burn, which is not a bad thing for a film. There are some films that work better as slow burns, but it's just really, really slow. Even the opening credits are extremely slow. It's just a camera fixated on a single patch of flooring for at least 6 minutes, and that's just one example, and the story meanders consistently to the point where I didn't care at all about the characters, particularly the lead, and it decides to focus on certain things way too long, and then after a bit, you kind of just want to pause and take a break, which is easy because it's on Netflix, which probably actually ruins it a little bit, especially if you're able to pause it. Though I was able to power through the entire movie, but it was difficult. Okay, so this is the part that I've been waiting to talk about for the entire review, and this is basically my reason why I don't think that it should win Best Picture. But I don't know how to start the sentence, so, like, okay, basically, here's what I had heard through a few other critics, through articles, YouTube videos, whatever. My understanding is that Cuarón had based the film off of his own life experiences. It's semi-autobiographical to a point, or in a way. And the problem is that Roma feels like there are holes in the screenplay, holes that caused me to lose interest in characters that I legitimately liked, as well as what those characters were going through. And, you know, it was just like because the director had the missing pieces to the story, you know, he experienced everything through his own experiences, so he had those missing pieces. And because he had experienced something similar with his own eyes, he did not think to cover every basis. And so that leaves a bunch of unanswered questions. And this just shows why a lot of directors should not get full creative control, because there needs to be somebody who can go behind them and say, hey, yeah, I have an issue with this. We need to give an answer for this. Can we go back, re-edit some things, maybe do some reshoots, add some clarity to this area? That's why you don't give full creative control to people. And back to the part where I said that I stopped really having interest in characters that I still liked. I had mentioned something earlier when I was talking about the cinematography that I had an issue and I was going to leave it until later. That was the issue, was just that the cinematography was so beautiful that I wasn't able to keep interest in everything. And apparently while promoting the film, Cuarón shares his own history that's tied to the film's creation, and people are so moved by the story that he's told, which I don't know the story of. I have no idea what it is of, but it's moving people to the point where it's getting all this Oscar and awards recognition, and I feel like a film needs to stand on its own merits. But this film is relying on its own merits, sure, as well as extra stuff that you either need to know before you go in, or you need to learn right after watching the film by looking it up yourself. And it kind of makes the movie a bit pointless, in my opinion, if you don't have at least at least an understanding on your own of the majority of the picture. But in the end, I feel like you guys should still, if you're interested, you guys should watch this movie more for the technical side of things, the cinematography, the editing. It's a beautiful film overall, and just when you get to the story, I think it just falls flat thanks to missing pieces, plot holes, and what have you, that just make connecting to the characters very difficult. And again, I'm not going to touch again on those couple of cons, but still, keep all that in mind. And with all that, I'm done with my Roma review. This was a movie that I was expecting to affect me in a certain way, and it did, but then it affected me in a different way that just kind of made me a little mad, but I don't know. I'm a little annoyed by it all, I'm not even excited about the Oscars this year, but I'll talk about that another day. In about a week or so, I'm actually going to look at every nomination that's been put out for the Oscars, and I'm going to do for the major categories, nothing like short films or documentaries, nothing like that. I'll actually do my own predictions on what the winners will be, and I do also have a couple of things to talk about there. Excuse me, specifically about a couple of Best Picture nominees. But we'll get to that when we get to that. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Okay, I already forgot my own outro. What the hell? If you enjoyed this video, please do not hesitate to hit that like button. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. I need to get used to saying this again. And just keep up, to date with everything that's going on in the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Hopefully, I will have a desk right in front of me, and it will be fucking awesome.